Rolling in the Deep.
Adele.
Yeah.
That's an Adele song.
That's an Adele song, but I heard Kid Rock does a cover.
Of Rolling in the Deep?
Rolling in the Deep, yeah.
Okay.
I was doing kind of a deep dive on, speaking of depth.
You were rolling in.
I was rolling in pretty deep on some Kid Rock facts this week. Well, it started because I was listening to the radio and that Kid Rock song came on, the I Want to Be a Cowboy Baby.
Right.
Mm. And, it's a good song. Kid Rock's fun guy. Seems like super cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I totally resonate with it because it's like, well, yeah, I want to be a cowboy.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be a cowboy baby. I want to be a cowboy man.
Right. A full-grown cowboy.
Yeah. That's
well, but it is in the purview of Kid Rock because it's Kid Rock.
That's true. He does keep it very much thematically.
It's not Dad Rock.
Tight. Yeah.
It's Kid Rock.
He's a Kid Rock who wants to be a cowboy baby.
He's writing this from the perspective of one of his listeners who's saying, I want to be a cowboy baby. They know their status, their station.
Right. But that's where you can only go. You will only go so far with Kid Rock.
That's true.
Right. Because you want to be a full-grown cowboy man.
Yeah. So, but my question is, there's another way you could take it, which is not a baby that is a cowboy, but just the baby of a cowboy.
Oh, I see.
I want to be a cowboy baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's the baby of a cowboy.
It's like being a Toys R Us kid.
Yeah.
I would say that
it's like that.
If you're old enough to put that thought together and say it, it's probably too late for you to be a cowboy baby.
Right.
Unless you are,
I think
it's kind of like you're saying, like, I wish I had been. The song, if that is the sentiment,
then
the song should be, I wish I had been a cowboy baby.
Oh no, I was going to say the sentiment shouldn't it be, I wish my dad was a cowboy.
Yeah, that's more to the point. You're right.
That would
but
be
then
a better
that kind
song.
of gets rid of the whole song.
Yeah.
Know, because my thing saying, I wish I had been a cowboy baby, you can still do the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had been a cowboy baby.
That kind of reminds me, has Jerry ever accused you guys of stealing from him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He accused me of stealing his Superman magnet.
Oh yeah.
And it's not true.
Yeah.
It was false accusation.
Yeah, I didn't
Why
steal
did he
it.
think it was you?
I had complimented him on it recently, and then it went missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't believe that he thought I would be such a stupid thief.
Yeah, to bring it up.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
immediately steal it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Who would do that?
Yeah. Well,
I did look at it.
Yeah.
I looked at it a little bit.
Did you covet it?
I did covet it a little bit.
Yeah. I can see how he might have thought.
He's very attuned to that sort of thing.
Well, yeah. If you're looking at it with covetous eyes, then I could see how he might think.
I said, like, that's a cool Superman magnet. Be a pity if someone stole it.
Oh, okay.
As like a way of saying, like, because it's so meaningful to you.
Right. Yeah. Did you say it? Did you say it with kind of like a, oh man, Jerry, it'd be a pity if someone stole it, or is that how you said it?
I did.
Oh, yeah. Jerry, that'd be tough. Man, it'd be a pity if someone stole it.
I said, it would be a pity if someone stole it.
No, see, that's not the same. That's not the right intonation.
Those are different.
Well,
those have different meanings. Wrong.
I guess
that's how you get accused. Like, that's the thing is with some of these situations, Jerry is, he's concerned about being stolen from.
Oh, well, yeah. He accused me.
He accused you, Gabe? Jerry accused you of stealing?
He's accused me of stealing before. It was a kind of tricky situation because we were out to dinner and we had ordered a plate of fries to share. And I had been kind of doing a lot of talking, which, that's kind of our dynamic.
Right.
I'll just kind of yammer on while he listens.
Gift a gab over here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So since I was talking most of the time, he was just kind of eating, and we had this plate of fries that we ordered to share, and he was eating a lot
Right.
of fries. And it got to the point where I wrapped up my long story, and then he started talking and I was eating fries. And then I just finished the fries without thinking. And he did not think that was okay. He thought that was a theft of sorts. He kept saying that I stole the last fry. And I felt like it was, pretty, what do you do in that situation? It felt even to me. I wasn't going to say, Jerry, you ate all the fries.
Right.
Or you stole the first fry.
Yeah, exactly. You stole your half, or, because that's how I saw it. It was like he ate his half of the fries while I was talking. So now we just get separate plates of fries.
Yeah.
That's good. That out. That's good.
I'm glad you were able to work that out. In case you're wondering, Jerry did accuse me of stealing one time. He accused me of, he has all those cars. He's got so many cars.
Yeah.
He accused me of stealing a green 2004 Suburban. So,
Wow.
Yeah, I know it's very specific.
But
I'm surprised he has that car.
Yeah,
well, he doesn't have it anymore.
Right. But he had that car.
He doesn't have that car anymore. So
He had it at some point, though.
Yeah.
If he's, it's just a surprising car for Jerry Seinfeld to have.
he's a collector. It's a great car.
Yeah.
Yeah. No collection is complete
Without
Green 2004.
Perfect. Mint.
Mint green?
Mint. No,
Forest.
no. Forest green, but
Sorry.
mint. Today on the show, season 1, episode 3, The Robbery. Everybody loves Seinfeld. Loves Seinfeld. George, Jerry, Kramer, and Elaine with Gabe, Caleb, and Josh. Welcome to Everybody Loves Seinfeld. That's 1S, the podcast about Seinfeld, for Seinfeld. Hey, Jerry. I'm your host, Josh, and now I'm driving the fire truck. I'm joined by Caleb and Gabe.
Hi, Jerry. I'm Caleb.
Hi, Jerry.
He's Gabe. I wanted to start off with a little bit of Seinfeld news. Did you guys see that Farmer Hoggett superglued his hand to a counter in Starbucks?
Farmer Hoggett?
Farmer Hoggett.
Yeah, the guy James Cromwell who played Farmer Hoggett and Babe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
the
know
guy.
him.
Yeah, he's apparently a like hardcore vegan, and he was protesting the. I'm surprised I have to explain all this. Actually, I thought this was top of the mind news.
No,
wise,
I'm
so I guess
sorry.
not.
Not heard.
This is amazing.
But
I turned off my Babe news alert years ago.
I turned on.
It's still going strong.
Only just recently turned on my Farmer Hoggett.
Yeah, right.
But
Well, you missed it probably by a day.
Well, but they didn't say it was Farmer Hoggett.
Oh, that's true. They said James Cromwell.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was he's protesting the cost of an upcharge for non-dairy milks. So plant-based milks.
This shouldn't be more expensive.
He said it shouldn't be more
vegetarian.
expensive because it's hurting animals, because it's causing people to opt for milk instead of plant-based milks.
Right.
Because
I don't think that's the reason people use milk.
I don't think so.
They
either.
don't go, cheaper? Okay.
Yeah. So he would like Starbucks to take
Well,
a huge hit, which I would too.
and if you're like,
Let's burn Starbucks to the ground.
that's
You
fine.
heard it here first.
Yeah. I do think it's also interesting because you're using a whole plant to make the milk,
Right. Yeah.
whereas all you're doing is squeezing it out of a cow.
Right. It's true. Those plants don't
Those plants are gone.
survive. Yeah, they're dead.
You like plants so much.
Yeah. I think that life is so essential.
Yeah.
It's so important to me that I don't want to kill those plants.
I don't even want those plants to go to hell.
I do want to kill those plants, and I do want them to burn in hell.
They will.
Plants don't go to heaven.
No. Okay. But the whole reason I brought that up, little context there, is that Michael Richards actually superglued his hand to a counter to protest something as well.
Really?
Yes. He it was in his apartment. And I think he was protesting the rights of certain people against the rights of certain people to be able to vote.
Oh, what?
So I don't
But he super glued his hand to something in his own apartment.
a counter in his own apartment.
So how did he call like news outlets to come to his house?
I think, he called Jerry to get Jerry to, so I heard about it from Jerry.
I heard about it from Jerry.
Guys, we've had a lot of fun so far. So let's move on to our first big segment. It's What's Newman? As soon as I say that part of it, I realize my inflection is wrong. What's new, man, with you guys? In parentheses.
What's Newman? What's Newman? What's Newman with you guys?
Caleb.
Yeah.
What's new, man?
Okay.
With you guys.
With me, guy. Mm-hmm. Here's what's new, man, with me, guy.
Mm-hmm.
I started physical therapy today.
Oh, wow.
I've done physical therapy one time before. And so I started today again. And my physical therapist is again a fat man.
Oh.
Which is always interesting.
Yeah.
When you are always in better shape than your physical therapist.
Yeah.
So it's just like a kind of overweight man telling me how I could help myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always just kind of like, I don't know. Okay.
Is he in debilitating back pain too?
He hasn't talked to me about that, but they're always like, and this is not me like being prideful or arrogant or whatever, or trying to toot my own horn.
Mm-hmm.
But they're always like, wow, stronger than I thought. I'm like, maybe.
What do you mean? Maybe?
So they're doing all this assessment. So they're like, hold your body like this, and now push against me. And then
I gotcha.
And so it's their strength that they're using to test.
Well, it's objective in a certain, but yeah,
it's a kind of objective.
It's not, you're not like pulling on like a meter that's like, 45 pounds of pressure.
No, it's just them holding their own. Like they're like, oh, right, good, that's good. That seems good. I'm like, okay. Also, every time I've gone to physical therapy, they've told me to do like pretty ridiculous things. Like this time, he told me, at the place, he had a foam roller that was like cut in half. So there's a flat side to it. So you can lay it on the ground. So then I could lay on that with my spine like perched on it and my head resting on the top. And then he had like these little plastic, like almost like, with like a thing you put on the table, a coaster, they're like plastic coasters, sort of. And then I was holding weights on them, and there was like rags under my hands. And I'm like, so now I'm laying on this thing, and I have to like do like an angel thing. I don't know. He said something about angels.
Snow angels?
Yeah. Do like a snow angel motion, with legs still.
Yeah.
And so I'm like doing that. I'm like, it's already kind of weird what I'm doing. And I get it. But then he was like, do you have anything like this at home? And I'm like, no, obviously not. And he's like, okay, you could just get like a pool noodle and put that on the ground and then put like socks on your hands and then just flail about on the ground.
Hold on. What do the socks do?
I don't know, man.
He didn't take the time to explain
well,
why.
I kind of like the idea is that my hands are now just moving on the ground. They're more slippery so they can move along the ground. Like the idea is that I'm not like doing this in a way that if my body were to like not be able to do this or something, or I was doing this standing up, it might be too much work or something. I don't know.
They're starting you off slow.
Yeah, they're starting me off slow, but I'm like, I really like when you go to a medical professional.
Aren't I stronger than you thought?
Like, not only that, you go to a medical professional, they're overweight. Yeah. And then they're telling you, okay, the way to health is to lie on a pool noodle and put socks on your hands. Like, okay, I guess.
That's good.
I think they might be, initially they're like, oh, he's stronger than I thought.
Yeah.
And then they have you do that. And then they're like, he's just as dumb as we thought he was.
Yeah. Well, so this is my thing. I'm like, am I being tricked? This is partially why I was like, I think next time I go in, I'm going to be like, hey, I really want to do this stuff, but I think you should do it too. Like tell him that he should do some of his own stuff, because then not only would it maybe benefit him, but also he maybe won't suggest such stupid stuff because he has to do it.
Some accountability.
Yeah.
What's new, man, with you?
Guy?
It's been a pretty good week. I think it was yesterday. I was using the bathroom, and then I had to blow my nose. Like I sneezed, and then I threw the tissue away, and I noticed, the trash can is full. So I grabbed the bag out of the bathroom, went outside, took it out to the trash can, and as I was coming back in, my landlord was walking around outside, and I was like halfway up the steps. So I had like my right foot on the ground, and then my left foot kind of like 2 steps up, and I was standing there like this, kind of leaning on the railing, and we were just chatting about he was talking about taking the storm windows off outside. He might do that soon. He was just letting me know. We had a maybe 3 or 4 minute conversation about that, and then I got up, I said bye, went back upstairs, and I realized that my fly was down, and I had been standing in such a way
That's to
just really accentuate that fact. So
did you, no snot on your face?
there was not that I could tell in that moment, but yeah. So I guess if I had my fly down and snot on my face, that he might be worried about my ability to continue paying rent. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, how are things going, man?
Yeah, it's fine.
Everything's good.
Well, you're like, everything's going really well.
Hey, man. I'm just kind of carefree today.
Yeah, well, one of my brothers, Seth, moved away.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's Newman with me, guys. One of my brother, Seth, moved away, so we had a little bit of a get-together over here. And, I knew there was something about the shape of the evening that I knew before it happened, that at the end of the evening, we were going to end up lifting weights.
Yeah.
I knew that was the trajectory. And there were barbells like exposed in the shop, and I could see guys looking over there. So I knew it was going to happen. And eventually, towards the end of the night, it did. And we started lifting weights, and it was really cool to see. It was super impressive. Guys were getting really into it, and they were making enormous gains really quickly. People were packing within about 45 minutes. Most guys had added about 30 pounds of lean muscle.
It's incredible.
It was amazing. It was just, everybody was really excited. And when somebody would complete a difficult lift, get, the barbell over their head, everybody would cheer. It was late at night.
Mm-hmm.
And my neighbor was not into it.
Yeah.
And so at a certain point, he came over and kind of confronted us. And he was pretty upset and pissed off, really.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so we just tore him to pieces. Just
whoa.
It was impressive to me how easily he came apart.
Yeah.
He just kind of, it was
soft bread.
It was easy. It was really easy. Then of course we felt bad about what had happened. We immediately called the cops. He had sort of threatened us. The cops showed up, and you could tell that they were scared. We had continued to lift, and people put on maybe 20 more pounds of lean muscle.
Wow.
And so you walk into a room full of these hulks, and you could tell that they were feeling uneasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they kind of asked us some cursory questions. They kind of offered to us, he threatened you, right? We could tell that they didn't really want to bring it to us. And I understood. And so we were like, well, kind of. He said, if you guys don't stop, and then we didn't know, I don't know what he was going to say, because we just that's when we tore them to shreds,
Yeah.
tore them to pieces. And they were like, okay, everything's good here. That's great. And they sort of, stumbled over themselves, leaving, getting out of here. So
Right.
It's pretty good.
It was a good evening.
Well, I was going to say, it sounds like you made some good memories before sending Seth off.
Yeah. He's something he can really
And
enjoy.
isn't it great when you have a night where you kind of, you have an expectation, you have the weights here,
Right.
you have a bunch of guys here probably going to end up lifting weights.
Right.
But to be surprised by the gains like that is just so fulfilling. It's so rewarding.
Yes.
And then also that you get to just tear these people apart at the end of the night.
Yeah.
It's just,
I was going to say it's cool when you can kind of get something done while you're hanging out.
that's true. Yeah. Having like an activity that
Right.
all of the parties can
And everybody
be focused
really
on.
did get involved.
Right.
And that was it was a good evening, and condolences, no hard feelings. It was just kind of wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Guys, let's move on to our next section, the meat of the matter. It's time for the SeinOpsis.
Now it's time to summarize the episode of Seinfeld. SeinOpsis.
The SeinOpsis is where we go over the details of the episode. Guys, general thoughts on this episode, just impressions, what you thought about it, Caleb?
I thought it was great. It's, you're just getting to see more and more of what we're going to come to know as.
Why is what you're saying so vague?
What? I just started.
Okay, I'm
Give me
sorry.
a
I'm sorry.
moment.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Jeez. I just liked how you're seeing the interactions and how they're getting along. The 4 core characters, and you're seeing more and more of the things that you're going to come to love with Elaine.
Yeah.
And
what's something specific that you see Elaine do in this episode?
She comes up into the apartment, and Jerry rings her up, and she comes in, and she's like, "Hey guys," and they're all there.
I don't
know. That doesn't happen.
I think all of the scenes in this episode, if I remember correctly, all of the scenes in Jerry's apartment, Elaine is already there.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the way it feels.
Yeah.
Right. What I meant was you see her there, so what I said kind of does have to happen at some point.
So what you liked about the episode was things that you thought about the characters that you didn't actually see in the episode,
Not
but you
quite
were
yet.
forced to imagine.
You were, you do imagine it when you see someone in that position in an apartment. You go, okay, they did have to get up there somehow, and so that's something I liked, and I think it's pretty specific. To me, maybe.
Right. No,
but
Elaine greeting
Elaine,
people. Her famous greetings.
Yep.
Hey guys.
And and like Kramer coming through the door too. I mean, what I said is that what I like about it is you're getting used to all that stuff that you're going to see in the episode.
Right. Yeah.
For future episodes.
I just want to ask, did you watch this episode?
Definitely saw the whole thing.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Well, yeah, I liked it.
Well,
I thought it was
let's let you take the lead on sort of describing the beats of the episode. Then.
Okay.
Go ahead, Caleb.
Well, first it starts off and they're in the apartment.
Which one?
They're in they're looking at a new apartment.
No.
Wait. I'm trying to remember.
That's
if
okay.
It's they're in Jerry's apartment.
Okay, good.
Right.
Yes. Right. Of course.
Yeah. What are they doing?
They're thinking about going to another apartment.
No.
Kramer is.
Kramer is gonna
Go to his own apartment.
Yeah. Kramer does come into Jerry's apartment.
But when he's in his apartment, you're going. He might be thinking about going back to his apartment.
Yeah. So again, these are things that you were like, reading between the lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't think it was weird, like that you had to do so much work on your own on this episode? Because usually it's pretty clear what's happening.
They're good at
this is just what I typically do. So it's not work for me. I enjoy this kind of stuff. That's one thing I like about Seinfeld is kind of leaving space for me to fill in things.
Okay, interesting. So what are they doing? Which characters are in the first scene and what are they doing?
It's Jerry and George.
Nope.
Well, George is.
Nope, it's not. Who is it? Go ahead.
Is not there. Just wait. For what I'm saying.
Okay.
Jerry and George is not there.
Okay, that was the end of that sentence.
Okay. And Elaine.
Hey, listen.
Jerry.
Just wait. Now you have to wait.
Okay.
I retract my criticism.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
I didn't wait for the end of the sentence. If I had, I wouldn't look like such a fool.
Honestly, it is okay to interrupt a little bit. I'm actually kind of okay with you interrupting sometimes in these circumstances. Yeah. But so George is not there. Elaine is there, and she's worried.
What's she worried about?
She's worried that something's going to happen to her. They're right. I mean, we all saw the episode.
Yeah.
We all saw the episode, so I don't know why I'm having to parse it all out. I feel like.
Just your initial thoughts sounded a little vague to me, and I'm just kind of doing my due diligence. So one of the things that's going on is that I'll give you this much.
Okay.
Jerry is doing something. Elaine is watching him. What's Jerry doing? This should be easy. You've seen the episode. Don't get stressed out.
Absolutely not stressed out. Jerry's making a sandwich.
No.
He's
so wrong.
You can tell by what he's doing that he kind of wished he was making a sandwich.
No,
I don't think so. He's actually taking quite a lot of joy out
in
of
what he's currently doing.
Whichever.
But that's
direction.
joy that you're thinking is about what he's presently doing, but he's also excited about maybe making a sandwich later.
It's Jerry Seinfeld. I think we can safely say he's at any moment excited about making a sandwich later.
Or a bowl of cereal.
Or a bowl of cereal, making a bowl of cereal. And so, but I wanted to hear what you thought about what Jerry is doing in that first.
Well, I thought
it was hard to understand.
It was a little weird for a minute. And I think it's, I think it was pretty good. Yeah. It was pretty,
specifically, funny. What was it that you liked about what he's doing?
I was talking about. You probably know what I'm referencing when he's packing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. He's packing.
Getting ready.
Yeah.
To go on a trip.
He's getting ready to go. Well, why Jerry does a lot of packing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things we learned. And actually, I was watching this episode and I was inspired. And I hope you'll indulge me. I was moved to write a poem.
Did you write a poem?
Wow.
About this situation. You might think, this is the poem now, you might think Jerry's good at packing because he travels so much for work. Because, of course, he's a stand-up comedian. He's always traveling. But he actually started out packing in front of live audiences. His way with socks shocked dozens. His folding method dizzied hundreds, made them so dizzy they threw up. The club owners got sick of cleaning up puke. And they asked, can you try something else? Jerry dug his toe in the dirt. He was barefoot, having packed his shoes and socks, and said, what's the deal with showbiz?
Yes. I mean...
Is
that true?
I don't know if it's true. It was me reading between the lines.
Right. Yeah. So we all kind of like
but what did happen is that he was packing and he was doing it sort of performatively and Elaine was really impressed with it.
Well, right.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
He even goes so far as to call himself the master packer. And given the content of the rest of the episode, with which we're all three very familiar.
Yes.
I was kind of disappointed that that's not something that came back.
Right.
Because it's
Are you sure it doesn't come back?
Perfectly set up to come back.
It's emphasized.
And it doesn't. Well, and it does. Yeah. It's like one of those Seinfeld moments where they're like, I'm the master packer. And it's going to set up this thing.
Like an Art Vandelay.
Yeah. Or like, or in earlier when we had the come with guy. Be a come with guy.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. That's another example of one that doesn't come back.
Right.
Yeah.
Threads that are just dropped.
Just severed.
Right.
Mercilessly, really.
Yeah.
So not like Art Vandelay.
Right. I didn't say that.
Okay.
Right.
I know. I was adding that. I was
and-
trying to understand.
And yeah, as someone who has not seen the episode, that would be hard for you to know.
I have seen
how
the
that
connected.
Josh.
I saw the episode.
So
There's a lot going on though
there is.
at my house.
Oh, okay. That's fine. You do what you need to do
Okay.
for your family.
I'm trying to.
And sometimes that means not watching an episode of Seinfeld.
That's not what
I'm
happened.
sorry, not watching it closely.
I would say there was a lot going on, but I was being pretty attentive.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. But that's just setting up the situation. Elaine is getting to stay in Jerry's apartment because she doesn't want to stay at her apartment.
Right.
She hates her roommate.
She hates her roommate.
Hates her
Yeah.
roommate.
Actress. Waitress. No. Waitress,
Just
actress, roommate.
Yeah. So that's what happens. She gets to stay in Jerry's apartment. What a treat.
And it's bringing. What I was thinking about was the last episode of their history,
Mm-hmm.
and you're kind of like, is their history going to become the present?
Right. The present.
Well, no, because Jerry's not going to be there. He's
not
leaving.
staying-
He's
yeah,
going out of town
He's
But you're
packing.
kind of wondering, is he really?
Yeah, no, he is.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a moment where he actually gives her the keys and
Yeah.
then leaves the apartment.
And then later,
Yeah, and it does happen, but
Yeah.
for a moment you're kind of like, maybe they'll do
Well,
a
and
little something.
Here's the clincher: is that later on in the episode he comes back,
Yeah.
having been gone, and then they talk about
and it's
how he
actually
was gone.
It's a major plot point is the
Right.
fact that he was gone.
Well,
Yeah.
right.
And then
I wasn't
something
saying,
happened while he was gone. And Caleb, what was it?
It was. Well, there's a lot of things that happen.
No, there's really not. There's kind
There's
of like one thing that
several
happens.
things. A lot of Elaine in the episode,
No.
and well, we surmise that she's doing things
Yeah.
outside of what's shown on
screen. And
We do.
you know,
We have to. We do.
like it's not. We don't. We don't have a. What is it? When a baby closes its eyes and can't see
Object
something.
permanence?
Object permanence.
Mhm.
We have object permanence, right? So we
Yeah.
can surmise that. But something happens while Jerry is gone.
Yeah.
And I think, Gabe, did you say that you wanted to say something about that? You were telling me earlier when we were talking about the episode that there was something you wanted to bring up about what happened.
You were insistent that we not talk about the episode because you said, no, I've seen it. I don't need to hear. I'm already tired of it. I'm going to be tired of it when we're talking later.
I did say that. I did. That's what I meant by us talking about the episode. But you had already mentioned to me right at first. You came up to me and said, "Hey, I want to talk to you about what happens when Jerry leaves."
One thing I hate about this episode is that Elaine is so cowardly with her roommate that she just wants to leave.
Yes.
I feel like there are better ways of handling a roommate that you hate. Like, for instance, if you become a kind of person who collects Funko Pops,
Yeah. Yeah.
that would be a way
could
of
drive them
punishing
out.
someone from that. Like and it's more proactive, you know.
And
It's,
you've collected so many that they can't possibly fit all in your room.
right.
Well,
They have to intrude on the public space.
Exactly.
and then what at the end of it? What's the worst that happens? You have a fully formed collection of really valuable figurines.
Right.
No, like that's
Yeah.
that's
This
great.
made me think
at
of
the end of
something.
That's an upside. The downside is you're a person who collects Funko Pops.
Yeah, it's kind of a turnoff in a lot of ways. But I was just thinking about what is that space?
It's something that
I
most
guess it's
adults
called
hate
Yes.
or should.
Should hate. Yes,
Should hate.
You should hate it.
Yeah.
If you are collecting Funko Pops, just don't write in.
Yeah. You don't have to kill yourself.
Don't have to kill yourself, but if you keep doing it, if you find yourself just continuing to buy them, it might be a better alternative.
And I would say please don't kill yourself if you collect Funko Pops. Don't do it.
Well, not on our account.
Right.
If there's
So-
some other good reason you come
How
up with,
about-
maybe, I don't know.
How about this for an angle? Write in if you have Funko Pops and you don't think that you should kill yourself. Tell us why.
Yes.
Please explain
to us why you have so many and why there is a weird lack of suicide in your life.
And maybe we should say, like, should we put a floor on this thing as far as like ownership? Like, do you need to own 3? Because I could see some individual getting 1 as like a weird gift from somebody that doesn't understand.
I think this is part of it. I don't know. I think this is part of it. Is that if you have many Funko Pops, and yet they're all gifts.
Yes, right.
Then that's okay.
Yeah.
Look, we get it.
But,
you gotta.
But your story of having a collection of Funko Pops and finding ways of not killing yourself will be so inspirational.
It will be true. Yes,
that is a true triumph.
Yes,
there are a lot of people out there rightfully considering suicide based on the number of Funko Pops that they own. That hearing this will be a balm to their soul. So
they'll
please write in to everybody love Seinfeld at gmail.com. That's everybody love Seinfeld with 1 S.
But I was wondering, what is that space? I guess it's called the space. It's a weird space in a room in an apartment when you're have a roommate, because it's not really private.
Like the living room. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's not really public though.
This is probably the
common
friction that, in a lot of these relationships, these situations.
Someone gets a new, coffee table.
Yeah.
And you don't like it.
Right.
But you need a coffee table.
I would say
now,
just compromise and just use your coffee table half the time and then put the other one out.
You're swapping them
just
in and out?
Swap them out. Yeah. That's easy.
That seems
That's a great idea.
Just put a schedule on the fridge, a coffee table schedule, and these are the days with my coffee table, and this is when we have the boho coffee table. This is when we have the mid-century.
But then, what if it clashes with everything else, and you got to switch everything else out too?
Then you've got much deeper problems than just 2 coffee tables. I'd say.
Yeah, that might be true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Caleb, I think you were about to tell us what it is that happens while Jerry is gone.
Gabe had said.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was Gabe.
Gabe had said he wanted to talk about it.
I think I had signed on to say this. Jerry comes back and he puts his bag down on the table, or maybe it's on the floor. I'm not going to get hung up on that. And then
wow, Gabe. So you don't remember?
Just barreling right ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember which thing it is, though. But
I'm sorry.
I didn't even remember that he has his bag. So
he may not.
I mean, the bag was clear.
Does.
The bag was clear in my mind.
So when Gabe said it.
Well, to me, because anyway, go ahead.
To me, his carrying the bag was just showing that he was coming back from the trip.
I think that's true.
Which we already knew that he went on.
Right.
And he definitely left and went on the trip. He comes back and he sits down and he grabs the remote, tries to turn on the television, and there's no television there. And he's, what's going on? Elaine is in the bathroom, apparently was doing something with the plunger.
Lots very involved with the plunger.
I don't know. Yeah. She doesn't describe what she's doing in there at any point. So
just walking around with a plunger.
I don't know.
So Jerry goes away, comes back. TV is not there, which at first you're kind of thinking like what you were saying.
Right.
That they're swapping it out, maybe.
No.
Like, because they're kind of roommates at this point or something, or?
No, Elaine just stayed there for the weekend while he was gone. You don't remember this?
No, I know, but I'm just saying, you guys, okay. Well, so, the TV is gone, so we assume Kramer has it.
Well, then Kramer comes in. Or no, that's not true. First, Elaine reveals that it's been stolen. The TV and the VCR have been stolen.
Yep.
Been robbed.
And the answering machine, as we find out.
We do find out later that the answering machine is also stolen.
Robots.
Yeah, well,
they wanted robots.
But I thought it was interesting that the thieves didn't go after, they didn't just grab the remote.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but when you have a TV without a remote, it's like...
And then you have to buy a universal remote, and they're just always disappointing and shoddy.
One button doesn't do what it should, and then the other button does 2 things at once. I had one that did that.
with this whole COVID thing, people have been talking about remote education. And I'll tell you what, you might need 4 years to figure out some of those remotes.
That's
bachelors in universal remotes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so that's great, guys. Jerry is robbed. That's right. That's the core of the episode. That creates a desire for Jerry to look at other apartments. And George just happens to have a great one. And so Jerry sort of reluctantly says, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll check this out." And so
they are looking for an apartment.
Eventually.
Right. Yes.
Eventually they get there, but it's not necessarily the first thing that happens.
It's close to the beginning.
And so Jerry is talking to Kramer at one point also about his door lock and about what has to happen, because they believe that Kramer is in some way responsible for this, which we'll get to later. I've got some thoughts about that.
Okay, interesting.
He says there's only one flaw with this particular door lock. Let me see. I've got it here somewhere in my notes about that door lock. It is a Clapco D29. He says there's only one flaw with the Clapco D29. It's the best door lock on the market, but it has to be shut. The door has to actually be shut for it to work. That's the only flaw. And I did some research, and I'd like to just kind of reveal something that it's kind of it's easy pickings if you're familiar with this kind of subject. Jerry claims that the Clapco D29 has only one design flaw, but that's not true. Anyone familiar with the subject would know at once that the Clapco D29, in an effort to provide maximum security, has a cotter pin that requires such firm contact with the teeth of the key that many overzealous homeowners have forced keys and broken them and been completely locked out, stuck in harsh nature or brutal hallways, which is not to say that the Clapco D29 is even as close to bad as a Westlock 671.
Right. I mean, it's so disappointing.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
It's so disappointing to have such an, good and fun show.
Right.
And then they put something like that in there, and it just makes you feel like, what do you think? I am an idiot?
Yeah.
Like, do you think I'm an idiot?
Yeah.
The Clapco D29 is got one flaw. Yeah. No. I can think of a couple.
Oh, I can think of a few. And also that's a flaw that, kind of crosses all locks.
That's true.
All locks are useless if the door is not closed.
True.
So that's ridiculous to think that this thing couldn't have any other flaws.
Yeah, that kind of pisses me off.
It's like, okay, Jerry. Okay. So I'm just taking your word for this.
Okay.
If I'm out there shopping, I'm going to go for the Clapco thing, D29, because all I have to do is make sure that my door is closed.
Yeah,
Jerry, Jerome.
Who do you think you're dealing with?
Yeah.
We know that the show isn't called Lockfeld.
No.
But let's pay like a little bit more close attention to just not having these huge exaggerations about the flaws of things.
It's a huge problem.
It really takes you. I know when that happened in the episode, it was like took me out of it, and then I sort of spaced out, and I was thinking about that a lot, and so I didn't really see what happened.
It just makes me sick.
It makes me so pissed off and sick to my stomach that I want to puke.
Yeah, it never changes.
Well, it makes it. I don't want to puke.
I do want to puke.
I don't want to puke, but sometimes you feel like when you get that angry,
I want to puke.
You want to puke?
Yeah.
I don't want to, but it does seem like it might happen.
It's usually a question of it's usually kind of lesser of two evils.
Well, I was going to say it's like
what's the other evil?
Feeling like you want to puke.
So just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I pull the trigger.
I don't ever.
Which don't quite do yet, Funko.
Yeah.
Or do, I don't know.
No, figure it out.
Oh, the Funko Pop guy?
Yeah.
Put in some work. Sorry, Gabe, what were you going to say?
Well, I'm just saying I don't ever want to puke.
Right.
But what they've done is put me in a situation where I want to puke.
Yes.
And that's not good.
No, that's
No.
bad.
While you're watching a TV show, you don't really want to go, I think I'd rather puke.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Jerry, come on.
But
on,
it is
Jerry.
good, the episode.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan of this one. Let's kind of get through a couple more beats here of the episode. They go and they view the apartment. It's a great apartment. It's close to the park.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's got a. Do you remember one of the main features was?
It's got a fountain
No.
and a playground and a crosswalk.
You mean
and
the,
hot dogs?
You mean Central Park?
Right.
No, we're talking about the
sorry.
apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, the apartment
Yeah.
Right.
doesn't have a fountain, right? Okay.
Right.
It has well,
A fireplace.
right,
Yeah.
And a garden.
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
That when
And a walk-in
I liked
closet.
it.
Yeah.
And a walk-in closet that Elaine walks into, and what does Jerry do?
He locks her in
He
there.
closes her in. Yeah, it's
pretty good.
It's good. So anyway, they
I've seen the episode.
yeah. And so then, of course, as you know, what happens is that George wants the apartment. You can tell George wants the apartment too. Jerry's put in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
They have this whole elaborate system for they flip a coin and then they choose, which is a game I've never seen. Must be a like Brooklyn
I have no idea.
thing from like the 60s
I
or
have
something.
no idea. It's kind of like
Is this
it's
boring
kind
for
of
you,
like
Caleb?
rock paper
No,
scissors.
I just felt like
because
yawning.
you don't remember.
I just felt like
this
yawning.
part of the episode.
No.
Have anything to say about it?
This part, I saw him locking Elaine in, and I was laughing.
Yeah.
And then
You missed the rest of it.
my
You kept
dog
laughing.
barked, and I didn't quite hear what they said.
Yeah. Okay. So, but now Jerry's put in a situation where he feels like he can't really take the place. It's rightfully Jerry wins the contest. It's rightfully Jerry's, but he feels like he can't take it. He's risking the relationship with
Yes.
him and George, so he can't do it. But a waitress overhears them. They're in the coffee shop talking about it. The waitress overhears them talking about this great apartment. She's like, "What is it?" Then we see them at a housewarming party. So she's taken the apartment
And she just invited them.
and she goes, "Oh, come, thanks for helping me
As a
find the
thank you.
apartment." And so they're sitting there and they're miserable
As
at
a
this
thank
great
you,
apartment.
As a thank you, please come
Right.
and see the apartment that I
Right.
got from you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
That you wish you
They-
had too.
No, they had both.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I know.
relinquished it.
Yeah. Yeah.
At
I know.
different points.
Yeah.
So
It just didn't work out for them. And that's a really a funny situation to be in, is where you have to give up an apartment to save a friendship.
Yes.
well, and then the button on it
Yeah.
is that they're at the party and they overhear another person talking about
Right.
moving out of an apartment, and then they all three turn
Yeah.
and say, "Shut up! Stop
Yeah.
talking about
Freeze
that. We don't
frame.
want to think about that
Yeah.
right now.
Shut your mouth.
freeze frame.
Please stop."
Please.
And there's a little bit of a too soon
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Jerry's like, too soon.
too
Yeah, he goes-
soon.
He says 9/11 hasn't even happened yet. Too
Right.
early.
Too. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Amazing foresight.
There was Gilbert
Kind of makes
Gottfried.
you wonder.
Gilbert Gottfried comes in and makes a 9/11 joke,
Uh-huh.
and Seinfeld goes,
Too,
"Actually, too early."
Too early.
Yeah.
No, we've got Mossad agents here, kind of working that out right now. but
I mean, the
let's
plan,
not tip our head.
plans are in motion.
Hey, Gilbert.
everything's-
Gilbert, don't spoil the plan for
Gilby.
9/11.
Gilby.
Many years in the
In
future.
the future. So, guys, that's our synopsis. I did want to take a moment here to just do another poem.
Please.
Okay.
It's kind of about apartments in New York. New York apartments, people are crazy about them. Your apartment is your own slice of NYC, this huge, enormous apple. It's an apple slice. Or maybe it's a slice of a pizza pie made from dough punched by an Italian to get the savory delight of an Italian man's fist into the dough. Yes, your apartment in New York is truly a slice of a pizza pie. And when you live in it, you are the sauce, hiding under the cheese, avoiding the horrifying teenagers with their whips and chains, mouths chock full of drugs.
Hey, I like that.
That's good.
I like that. It also, you're a sauce again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like we said, we've said that before.
Well, we've called our listeners sauce.
Sauce,
Right.
yes. Right.
Yes.
But so,
Well, hold on. When did we? I have no memory of this.
oh, it's all right.
It doesn't matter because it's still true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was true
Right.
then, and
Right.
it's true now.
It's true now.
The listeners are the sauce. Oh,
And-
yeah, that's right. They're the sauce on the
Yeah.
The spaghetti
on the
that is.
spaghetti.
Yeah.
The, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Because, and I like that you go from apple
And I have
to
one
pizza.
more poem.
Okay,
In the
let's-
end, Jerry
Josh.
and George and Elaine are miserable because they value their friendship more than getting an apartment. They're like a pizza pie that refuses the pizza wheel, will not let the rolling blade cut them into slices, separate them. And so should we be, a strong pizza with hard rubbery cheese.
Yeah. I do like that that poem. I never really thought of the slices in a pizza as being friends.
They are.
Um,
That's
But-
what I have taught you.
but what's interesting about that is that you seem to think that friends is being one big pizza
That's right.
and not separate slices that have decided to remain together.
Right. No, I think it would be better if they're just one big pizza.
Okay.
One big, beautiful, undisturbed pizza.
Can I throw
Where-
something in here?
Sure.
So the way I'm seeing it is all of the cheese is a friend.
Yeah.
All of the sauce is friends.
Right.
All of the crust is friends.
The
And then
different
you
elements.
slice them, and then you have stranger, stranger, stranger.
Right.
You know, you have those
Stranger,
Those-
stranger, stranger, which is
like
that was
cheese
a rule
are
that my mom
strangers to
actually
the sauce.
Yeah.
That was-
sauce.
Yes.
that was a rule my mom actually taught me
Really?
growing up. You know,
Stranger, stranger, stranger.
stranger, stranger, stranger.
She would walk into a room.
Yes.
Stranger,
When-
stranger.
when we would go-
So wait,
when we would get on a bus when I was little, we would go on the bus and sit down, and my mom would go, stranger, stranger, stranger. It was sort of her addendum to the stranger danger thing.
Right.
okay.
It
So
was stranger danger, and then it was
I was gonna
stranger,
say,
stranger, stranger.
Stranger.
I was that made me think. Well, you know, I understand how stranger danger is a rule,
Right.
but I would not necessarily say that saying stranger 3 times counts as a rule.
It was kind of her rule for herself
Okay,
around me in public.
that's
Yeah.
As
So
long
it's
as
like-
you understand
She
what
said
it
stranger
means.
danger, and then she would, and then, you know, she kind of give me a knowing look and then go, stranger, stranger.
Oh, okay. So she's just she's just giving you concrete examples.
Strangers.
Dangerous.
Right.
These guys are strangers, and you do the math.
Right.
Guys, that's it for our synopsis. We're going to go real quick to one more bit. We've got our listener mail segment, which is called
The mail.
The Mail Never Stops, Jerry.
Jerry. The mail never stops, Jerry.
So today's letter comes from,
Don't say it.
Chick Tarwell from
No
Bastard,
way.
Kentucky. Okay. All right. It's not really a question. It's just, okay, I'll just read it. I hope the sun's heat is making your legs itch for freedom and your camera phone has a wish for capturing the moment. Your camera phone. Here in the rifle zone, I don't know. That's disturbing. Here in the rifle zone, our shorts have grown small with the heat. The heat rises from the ground and it makes the shorts recede. I don't want
What?
any more letters from Jick Tarwell. Okay, there's one last thing here. Jick, stop writing. I guess we'll stop reading them at some point.
Yeah,
Probably.
we're going to have to. We need some other people to write in.
Other people should write in. When I have been robbed and beaten, the cops will also not find the blood-stained man of guilt. This episode is true in this way. Oh, kind of
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a whole thing in the episode where, the cops they're not going to do anything. Right.
Yeah.
You get the feeling that they're completely helpless in the face of this crime.
But he's honest. The cop is honest about how he's not going to get his stuff back.
You're not going to get your stuff back. Nope. Do you ever find anything? Nope.
It was interesting too.
Yeah. Why don't we hear what you have to say about what happened in the episode?
Well, that he gets his TV stolen and all that stuff, and he goes and tries to find a new apartment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be looking for a TV?
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Yeah. They
didn't steal your apartment.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think you just cracked this whole thing wide open, dude.
Well, here's another thing I did want to bring in. Let's get to I don't know what else we can say about this.
Jick just wants to see our legs or something.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm not comfortable with it.
I was thinking we should take some promo shots though.
Oh.
Okay, but I think I'm probably not wearing shorts.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about it
for a while now.
Okay. Gabe's very open to the idea. All right.
Okay.
So one thing, let's get to our final thoughts, guys. This episode is pretty good, but for me, I got fixated on one thing. How do they know that the door was left open?
Right.
How do they know that? They came back and they saw that the door was open. No sign of forced entry, I'm sure. That's one of the things that they're looking at. Fine. Expert lockpicker did it. Guess what? It's actually not possible for police to be able to tell if a lock has been picked. To do that, you need a forensic locksmith. It's a very specific thing. Do you guys remember, Caleb, especially, do you remember a forensic locksmith in this episode?
I remember there was one kind of in the background in one of the diner scenes.
Oh, but not examining the lock.
No.
Okay. No. Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess if we're playing by Caleb's rules, I don't remember seeing one on screen, but one left right before the scene after the robbery starts.
I don't buy it. I reject Caleb's way of watching Seinfeld.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, it's.
I mean,
hey, listen,
that's
it's a strong opinion, but that's my opinion.
Hey, look, I hope that this doesn't get in the way of us, doing episode after episode of this and talking about it.
I don't see how it would.
Me neither. I think we could still continue on, but
absolutely.
I accept that you don't like how I watched the episode.
I think it sucks, and I think it's awful and shouldn't do it.
Okay.
Because all you're doing is imagining what might have happened that isn't being shown on screen.
Well,
and I think
to each his own. To each his own.
Live and let live.
Yes.
Okay. We'll agree to disagree.
Let and live let.
But I just feel like wouldn't it be nice to have a forensic lockpicker, a scene or several scenes with a forensic lockpicker to help really close that out, just so that there's no question.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, it goes back to the lock.
That's how I'm watching the episode.
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to have to agree to disagree.
Yes. I mean, I think so. And I'm agreeing with you, Josh. Yeah. We actually can agree to agree because just like we get confused and distracted when they say the only flaw of this lock is this thing, that now we go, why didn't they even figure out if someone could have picked it? Because
I would prefer.
That's the only other way.
That's the only other way. Let's close that door so that I can stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And really what I would like to see is a show that's much more pedantic. So for me, I'm going to say fun episode in a lot of ways. There's some great moments I really enjoy. Jerry shutting the door on Elaine. Probably a high point of the episode for me. It's really good. Caleb loves that too. Yeah. He remembers it. And but ultimately it's skippable.
It's funny because this one I think it's kind of hard for me to say that it's skippable.
Really?
Yeah, it's just seems like there's so many things being set up and really important dynamics.
Like if you haven't seen this episode,
as a reference.
If you haven't seen this episode, maybe you would have no idea what's going on.
You would have no idea what's happening with the rest of the seasons, the rest of the episodes. Yeah. It would be very difficult to get a foothold after missing this one.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to reserve judgment on this one
Until you see it.
until next episode.
Okay.
And then I'll be able to say more with more enthusiasm. But okay, what I'll say is it is skippable. And then next week I'll come back and I'll say, after seeing the next episode, if I affirm that. Is that good?
Gabe?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But for me,
Yeah, final thoughts.
I liked it. It was a good episode. And I agree. I like when Jerry shuts the door on Elaine, but I think I like it because it then gives the opportunity for him to open it back up, and she's standing there with her hand on her hip, and she does not approve of what he just did, but she doesn't have to say anything. You can just tell by the way that she's looking at him.
That's some good acting.
That is how Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Wow.
Yeah.
You see that and you go,
What an actress.
maybe Lady President.
Yes.
Yeah.
But ultimately, skippable episode.
Skippable episode. Okay.
I agree right now.
Yeah. Across the board, guys, that's our episode. Sorry. Across the board.
Across the board. Hey, across the board, guys.
Hey, guys, some words I just saw.
Hey, guys, across the board, that's our episode. We kind of all agree. That's the episode.
Is that our episode? It's
Across
unanimous.
So thanks for watching. You can find us on various platforms. We are Everybody Love Seinfeld. 1S. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. Lots of great memes out there on Instagram. Follow us there, and you'll be able to find us on various podcast platforms as well. From Everybody Loves Seinfeld, write to us at everybodyloveseinfeld@gmail.com. Have a great day. Have a great week. Take care. We're looking for advertisers, so please send us an email.
Yeah.
Let's get advertising.
We think that
Advertise
there's
with
some
us.
parts of the show that we could just put ads over.
Yeah.
It would just cover.
What would happen is it would just be us talking in the video format. And you'll see us continue talking, and then it'll just
fade out.
fade out into an ad, and then the ad plays, and then it just slowly fades back into us, and you might not even notice that it happened.
Truly, I think
or that you missed anything.
I think that people will, as an act of gratitude for shielding them from the show, they will purchase your product. So
Yes.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah,
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
and
If we get enough advertisers, you won't even have to listen to the
It
show
could
at
just
all.
be
It
all
could
ads.
just be all ads.
Let's shoot for that. And one of the we have seen that in some initial kind of experiments with that actually there's a real retention spike. Oh,
Yeah, it would be
with
like,
ads.
it would be like we're just the stock footage, like the blurred out stock footage that you see in like a like B-roll, like in like a drug commercial where people are like doing stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't have to hear that at all, but you're like listening to a side
They're
effects.
having
And the side effects,
conversations, and you don't even wonder what
what
they
they're
are.
doing. Yeah.